Where do you find your balance? Does it come from within, or has it been influenced from the world around you?
It's another late night at the office, another long day for Madison, and another day to where she is just so weighed down by everything that's going on in her mind. She's not exhausted physically, but she is so exhausted mentally, just overthinking, her mind running in circles, just thinking about how am I going to get through this? How am I going to figure these things out? I just got this great new career, and I'm trying to find a special balance, a balance between work and life, my family, my friends, and I just don't know what to do. And so she goes into her bathroom and stares into the mirror, stares at that reflection that's looking back at her, just thinking to herself. All of these voices from her friends are just pounding away at her. Every single one of them is trying to help, but they're telling her their own version of balance, of what they think she should do. And yet they don't really settle too well with her. And so she just continues to stare in this mirror. And before long, her eyes begin to blur, and the reflection looking back, she doesn't even recognize. She can't even see herself, and she feels like she's just changing too much. And so she does something amazing. She decides that she's going to make a decision. She's going to make a decision right in that spot, because her eyes are lying to her. And she's going to take out a cloth and put a blindfold over her eyes. She's going to close her eyes and drift into her imagination. She decides that she's going to focus on herself. She's going to connect with her own emotions, with her own instincts. And she decides that she's going to learn to trust herself and trust what she believes. Madison's friends have been telling her to find balance in her life. However, it's their own version. When they see it, they look at the classic balance beam with 5 pounds of iron on each side. However, Madison, and the way that she lives her life, believes that life's a little more difficult. It's not so simple as black and white. And there's a little bit more that goes into those choices. And so while she's thinking about this, her mind pictures that same balance beam. However, she pictures 5 pounds of rocks on one side and 5 pounds of straw on the other. And you might be thinking, which one's heavier? Neither, right? They're both 5 pounds. However, those 2 or 3 rocks that make up that 5 pounds, whereas an entire bale of straw will take up 5 pounds. And so she starts comparing this to her life. Because if you think about it, you could go through 8 hours of work. However, it would mean nothing compared to 30 minutes of uninterrupted time with your family, with your kids, just playing and having fun. Or even just having 10 minutes of fun playtime could mean so much more than 3 hours of you being in a room. But maybe you're being distracted by your phone. And so she takes these things into consideration. Madison decides that she is the only one that knows how to balance her life. Only she knows what's important to her and understands that things won't be balanced 100% of the time. There may be moments when big projects come up at work, and she may have to sway a little bit more. However, she also knows that she can come back and spend a little extra time with her friends and family to balance it out. This life is going to be a constant give and take. She knows that she can do it and that she can balance. She can find out what's important and make sure that she spends time on that. Madison's imagination jumps to another image, and the classic imagery and quote that she heard and she remembers about trying to fit things into a jar. We have a limited amount of time, and if we put the big rocks, the most important things in first, and then we add in the smaller rocks around it in that jar, and then we pour in a little bit of sand, and then the water, that everything will find balance, and that we'll be able to do everything that we set out to do, as long as we start with the biggest things, the most important, the most impactful things. However, if we start filling up with water and sand, by the time we get to those big rocks, there won't be space. There won't be time for it. And so it's at this moment that she makes that decision to where she's going to trust herself. She's going to believe in herself, and that she'll be able to make the right decision. She's not going to allow the lies of others to sway her. And she's going to find her own balance and happiness. It's at this moment that she removes her blindfold. She looks at herself in the mirror again with these big, bright, open eyes, starts to smile, and knows that she's going to be all right.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's a little bit of behind the scenes of this video, and I started off with just using a portrait and just using Madison as a base, just so I had a concept to start with and trying to practice my likeness skills. But these stories are going to be, they're fictional stories. However, each one of them is inspired by either something I've gone through personally, or something I have helped a friend or somebody I've met just rethink and reshape things. And so I'm hoping that these stories will also kind of connect with you guys. But I also want to share that each one of these, right now, I am still in an experimental stage and trying to find what's the best way to kind of share my art and the sculpture in a video medium to where I can also tell a story. And so I just wanted to share that this is all in progress. And it's also okay to make mistakes along the way as long as you keep pushing forward. And so I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what you think. If there's anything you would like to see improved, or any ideas you guys have, or any of the things you guys are currently battling, I would love to take it on and see what I can do. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome creative week.